Gentlemen, stop blaming age for everything. Stop assuming low energy, weaker performance, slower recovery, and fading drive are just the normal price of getting older. That belief is costing you more than you realize. Comment vitality below if you want the exact daily protocol. Because for many men over 50, the real issue is not age alone. It is a silent combination of weaker blood vessel signaling, lower oxygen delivery, higher oxidative stress, and nutrient gaps that slowly drag the whole system down. Not overnight, quietly, consistently, until you barely feel like yourself. And here is what most men miss. You can drink more coffee, push harder in the gym, buy another testosterone booster, even reach for quick-fix performance products. But if the cells, nerves, blood vessels, and hormone pathways are underfed, those old solutions only cover the surface. They do not rebuild the engine. And in this video, I want to show you 3 vitamins that are often overlooked in men over 50, yet they sit right at the intersection of energy, circulation, recovery, and male vitality. Not hype, not magic, a more intelligent foundation. And I will show you the exact form, timing, and daily structure that make the difference. Because this is not about random supplementation, this is about what I call the triple pathway vitality reset. Vitamin D3 helps support nitric oxide signaling and endothelial function. Vitamin B12 helps support red blood cell formation, oxygen transport, and nerve communication. Vitamin E helps defend vascular tissue and cell membranes from oxidative stress. 3 pathways, 1 stronger system. When those pathways slow down, men notice it everywhere. You get up tired. You hit the afternoon wall harder. Your body feels slower to respond. Your workouts feel flatter. Your mind feels less sharp. Motivation dips. Confidence takes a hit. Even intimacy can start feeling less reliable, less spontaneous, less alive. That is why this matters. The body does not separate energy from performance the way people do. Your circulation affects your stamina. Your oxygen delivery affects your brain and muscles. Your mitochondrial output affects your drive. Your nerve signaling affects response time. Your vascular health affects far more than one part of your life. So let's start with the first vitamin, because this is where many men over 50 are already behind without knowing it. Vitamin D3, the simple vitamin that is not simple at all. Most people hear vitamin D and think bones, maybe immunity, maybe winter mood. But for men over 50, vitamin D is deeply tied to how well the system performs under pressure. Because healthy vitamin D status is linked to endothelial function, nitric oxide activity, inflammation balance, muscle function, and hormone support. Here is why that matters. An erection is not just desire. A strong workout is not just motivation. Good stamina is not just willpower. All of those depend on the body's ability to relax blood vessels when needed, deliver blood efficiently, and maintain strong cellular communication. When vitamin D runs low, that whole performance chain can start to weaken. Research has linked low vitamin D levels with poorer vascular function and lower nitric oxide availability. And nitric oxide is one of the key signaling molecules that tells blood vessels to relax and widen. Less signal, less vessel response, less flow, less support where you actually feel it, not theoretical, practical. And vitamin D does not stop there. Low levels have also been associated with lower mood, lower muscle strength, reduced recovery, and weaker testosterone status in some men. So when a man says, "I just feel flatter than I used to," sometimes that is not laziness. It is not a character flaw. It is a biological slowdown. The frustrating part is how easy this is to overlook. Men spend years trying to overpower fatigue while ignoring the foundation. They chase stimulation instead of support. More caffeine, more sugar, more pre-workout, more force. But stimulation on top of deficiency is not optimization. It is just borrowing energy from a body that already feels behind. If this sounds familiar, type energy in the comments, because the second vitamin will explain why some men sleep enough, eat reasonably well, and still feel underpowered every single day. Now, vitamin D3 is powerful, but even good circulation support will only take you so far if the body cannot generate and deliver usable energy properly. That brings us to vitamin B12, and this one becomes more important with age than most men realize. Vitamin B12 is part of the machinery that helps your body turn food into usable cellular energy. Not in a motivational poster kind of way, in a real biochemical way. It supports red blood cell production. It supports nerve integrity. It supports brain function. It supports methylation processes involved in repair signaling and overall physiological efficiency. When B12 is low, the body often starts sending quiet warnings first. Heavier limbs, brain fog, less resilience, more afternoon crashes, slower reaction, less spark. The kind of symptoms men brush off for years because they seem vague. But vague does not mean unimportant. Vague often means systemic. Red blood cells matter here more than most people understand. They carry oxygen, and oxygen is not optional if you want stamina, mental sharpness, stronger muscle output, or better intimate performance. If oxygen delivery is compromised, the body feels slower everywhere. Not broken, just undersupplied. Then there is the nerve side of the equation. B12 helps maintain the protective sheath around nerves so signals can travel properly. That matters for coordination. It matters for sensation. It matters for response. Your brain can send the message, but if transmission is weak, the body's response may feel delayed, flat, or unreliable. This is one reason so many men over 50 say, "I know what I want to do, but my body doesn't seem to respond the same way anymore." They assume age. They assume testosterone alone. They assume stress. Sometimes those are part of it, but sometimes the wiring and fuel system are both running below spec. And age adds another problem. Many older adults absorb B12 less efficiently from food. Stomach acid changes. Intrinsic factor can become less effective. Some medications can interfere, so even men who eat animal protein may still come up short. That is why B12 deficiency or low normal status can hide in plain sight. This is where incomplete solutions fail again. Men buy energy drinks. They rely on sugar. They use harsh stimulants. They keep forcing output from a system that needs rebuilding. But stimulants do not replace red blood cell support. They do not repair nerve signaling. They do not restore cellular energy production. They only create noise. And when men correct B12 status properly, many describe a very specific shift. Not a jittery rush, not a fake high. More like the fog starts lifting. The body feels more present. Thoughts feel cleaner. Endurance improves. Motivation becomes easier. Intimacy feels less like a task and more like something natural again. If this is hitting home, comment reset below, because the third vitamin is where protection happens. And without protection, even better blood flow and better energy can still get dragged down by oxidative damage. That third vitamin is vitamin E, and this is one of the most misunderstood nutrients in the men's health conversation. Many people think vitamin E is just a skin vitamin or something people take for cosmetic reasons. But vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant, and that matters enormously when we are talking about blood vessels, cell membranes, hormone-producing tissues, and aging physiology. After 50, oxidative stress becomes a bigger player. That means the body is under more pressure from free radical damage, inflammation, metabolic wear, and vascular stiffness. This does not always feel dramatic at first. It feels like a gradual decline in edge, slightly poorer recovery, slightly less drive, slightly weaker response, slightly less consistency, until one day it is no longer slight. Vitamin E helps protect the membranes of cells from that oxidative wear. It helps support vascular flexibility. It helps defend delicate tissues that need stable blood flow and good oxygen supply. And when blood vessels stay healthier, the whole system works better. Better delivery, better response, better resilience. This is important because blood flow problems rarely begin as a total shutdown. They begin as a loss of responsiveness, less elasticity, less smooth muscle response, less endothelial efficiency, more friction in the system. That is why some men still have desire, but notice that performance feels less dependable than it used to. The intention is there, the physiology is not fully cooperating. Vitamin E also matters because oxidative stress and inflammation do not just affect circulation. They also influence recovery, metabolic health, and the environment around hormone production. So even though vitamin E is not a miracle hormone booster, it plays a supporting role in helping the terrain stay healthier. And that is the point most men miss. These are not isolated vitamins doing isolated jobs. This is a coordinated system. D3 helps the signal, B12 helps the fuel and delivery, E helps protect the road and the cells traveling it. That is why I call it the triple pathway vitality reset, not random support, layered support. Here is how it works together in plain English. Vitamin D3 helps the vascular system respond better. Vitamin B12 helps carry oxygen and support nerve communication, so the body has more usable energy and responsiveness. Vitamin E helps defend those blood vessels and cellular membranes from oxidative strain. Better signal, better delivery, better protection. That is why old one-note solutions so often disappoint. A man takes one trendy supplement and expects his whole life to change. Or he focuses only on testosterone while ignoring circulation. Or only on circulation while ignoring energy. Or only on stimulation while ignoring oxidative stress. Incomplete input always leads to incomplete results. And the body knows the difference. When multiple pathways improve together, the result feels different, more stable, more natural, less forced, more sustainable. Not just one good day, a better baseline, better mornings, better workouts, better focus, better mood, better confidence, better intimate reliability. If you want more content like this, subscribe and save this video now, because the next part is the one most men get wrong. Not the vitamins themselves, the forms, the timing, the consistency. That is where smart supplementation separates itself from wasted money. Let's talk exact protocol. For vitamin D3, many men over 50 do well with daily support, especially if they spend a lot of time indoors or get limited sun exposure. A common range is 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily, though some men may need more or less depending on lab work, body size, medications, sun exposure, and clinician guidance. Take it with a meal that contains fat for better absorption. Morning or lunchtime usually works well because it fits most routines and pairs easily with breakfast or lunch. Food sources can help too: fatty fish, egg yolks, fortified foods. But food alone often does not fully close the gap in men who are already low. That is where a quality D3 supplement becomes practical. For vitamin B12, the form matters. Many men do better with methylcobalamin, especially in a sublingual form, because it can be easier to use than cheaper forms for some people. A common daily starting point is 500 to 1,000 micrograms, often in the morning. Why morning? Because B12 supports daytime energy systems, and many men simply remember it better then. If a man has known absorption problems, significant fatigue, digestive issues, or has been told he is deficient, he should speak with his healthcare professional about testing and whether a stronger approach is needed, because guessing helps less than data, especially after 50. For vitamin E, food first is the smartest move. Almonds, sunflower seeds, avocado, olive oil, dark leafy greens. Those foods bring vitamin E along with other supportive compounds. If supplementing, choose a product that contains mixed tocopherols rather than a bargain bin single synthetic form. A conservative supplement range often lands around 100 to 200 IUUs daily with a meal, unless a clinician directs otherwise. And timing matters less with vitamin E than consistency. Dinner works well for many men because it is easy to remember and usually includes some fat for absorption. But whichever meal you choose, stay consistent. Physiology rewards routine. Random use does not rebuild anything. Now here is the real power move. Do not take these for 3 days and expect fireworks. Do not skip half the week and say they didn't work. That is not how biology works. If a deficiency or insufficiency has been building for years, the body needs steady input over time. Often 8 to 12 weeks is where men begin to notice more meaningful changes in baseline energy resilience and overall performance. The first changes are often subtle. Better mornings, less afternoon collapse, clearer thinking, a little more drive, better recovery after exertion. Then the bigger shifts come. More stable stamina, better confidence in your body, less hesitation, better consistency in the gym, in daily life, and often in intimate situations too. Comment protocol if you want to start taking this seriously, because now I want to handle the objections that stop men from doing the simple things that could genuinely help them. First objection: aren't vitamins too basic to matter? That is exactly the trap. Men ignore foundations because foundations are not flashy. But the body does not care what is flashy. It cares what is missing. And when the missing piece is basic, the result of replacing it can feel surprisingly powerful. Second objection: what if I take them and feel nothing right away? Then stop judging a rebuilding process by stimulant standards. The goal is not a fake rush. The goal is a stronger baseline, a body that responds better because it is functioning better, that takes repetition, not impatience. Third objection: can I just take any cheap supplement? I would not. Form matters, manufacturing quality matters, absorption matters. With D3, choose D3, not a weaker substitute. With B12, prefer a usable form such as methylcobalamin. With vitamin E, look for mixed tocopherols and use food first whenever possible. Cheap labels can create expensive disappointment. Fourth objection: is more always better? No, smarter is better. More is not always safer, and more is not always more effective. High doses can be inappropriate for some people, especially if they have medical conditions. Take prescription medication or use anticoagulants. That is why lab work and medical guidance matter when needed. Fifth objection: what if I'm already taking medication? Then be responsible. Vitamin E in particular deserves extra caution if you use blood thinners. Vitamin D needs more careful oversight in men with certain calcium or kidney issues. B12 is generally well tolerated, but persistent fatigue still deserves evaluation because low energy is not always nutritional. Use common sense. Use your clinician when needed. But notice what we are not saying here. We are not saying you need a pharmacy full of pills. We are not saying you need a dozen powders, a complicated stack and a spreadsheet. We are saying that many men over 50 do better when they support 3 core physiological lanes that tend to weaken with age: signal, delivery, protection. That is why this conversation is bigger than a supplement routine. It is about how you age, whether you drift into lower standards and call it normal, or whether you rebuild the inputs that help the body perform closer to its design. Because the long-term payoff is not just more energy, it is a body that feels more available to you again, more ready, more cooperative, more dependable. You walk into the day with less drag, you recover with less friction, you think with more sharpness, you show up with more steadiness, and yes, very often you feel more like yourself in intimate moments too. That change matters, because when a man feels physically flatter, it rarely stays physical. It spills into confidence, mood, initiative, relationships, discipline, identity. But when energy returns, when circulation improves, when response gets stronger, the effect spreads in the other direction too. Confidence comes back, presence comes back, momentum comes back. So do not reduce this to just vitamins. The better way to see it is this. You are giving your vascular system better support. You are improving oxygen delivery. You are helping defend tissues from oxidative wear. You are creating conditions where energy performance and vitality have a better chance to return. And that is what healthy aging should look like, not pretending you are 25, not chasing reckless shortcuts, not living on stimulation, but building a body that still performs with strength, clarity, stability, and confidence, because you are supporting the mechanisms that actually matter. If you are over 50 and you have been feeling slower, flatter, less resilient, or less confident in your performance, do not automatically surrender to the idea that this is just aging. It may be partly aging, but it may also be your body asking for missing support in plain sight. Get your levels checked where appropriate. Clean up the basics. Choose better forms. Stay consistent. Give your body enough time to respond. And watch what happens when the system is no longer running under silent nutritional pressure. I'm Dr. Clara Vance. If this helped you, subscribe, share this with a man who needs to hear it, and leave a comment telling me which of the 3 vitamins you want to prioritize first. Because sometimes the comeback does not begin with something extreme. It begins with finally fixing what your body has been missing all along.